Podcast, Episode 2. Lab-grown limbs and beyond. The ethics of biotechnology.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Alternative Insights. I'm your host, Gage Wood, and today we're going to be diving into the exciting and sometimes controversial world of biotechnology. We'll be discussing the ethics of growing limbs, organs, and other body parts in a lab, and what this could mean for the future of medicine and humanity. So let's start with the basics. In recent years, scientists have made significant progress in the field of regenerative medicine, including the ability to grow limbs, ears, and even skin in a lab. This is a remarkable breakthrough that has the potential to change the lives of people with amputations, congenital defects, and other conditions. But as with any new technology, there are also ethical concerns to consider. For example, what happens if scientists are able to grow a body without a brain? Is that even a viable or desirable outcome? And what are the implications for our understanding of what it means to be human? One thing that I think is particularly fascinating about this topic is the idea of brainless body clones. This is something that has been explored in science fiction for decades, but now it's becoming a reality. What do you think would be the implications of this technology for our understanding of consciousness and personhood? It's a very complex and thought-provoking topic. At its core, it raises fundamental questions about what it means to be human and what constitutes a living being. If we are able to create a body without a brain, is it still considered a living being? And if so, what are the moral and ethical implications of creating such a being? Some argue that the brain is the seat of consciousness, and without it, a body would not be considered a living being. Others argue that consciousness is a product of the body and its functions, not just the brain. It's also important to consider the implications for the use of such clones, for example, in organ harvesting or as an alternative for soldiers in the battlefield. Regardless of where one stands on these debates, it's clear that this technology raises important ethical questions that need to be considered. I think it's important to remember that these technologies have the potential to do a lot of good, but we must also be mindful of the risks and downsides. It's up to us as a society to make sure that we're using these technologies in a responsible and ethical way. What do you think would be the implications for society if these technologies were to be fully realized and widely adopted in the future? I think it's important to remember that these technologies have the potential to change our understanding of what it means to be human. We may be able to extend our lifespans and improve our physical abilities, but at the same time, we also need to consider the impact on our social, economic, and political systems. For example, if we are able to grow replacement limbs, organs, and other body parts in a lab, it could have a significant impact on the healthcare industry and the way we treat certain diseases and injuries. But it could also lead to a situation where certain individuals or groups have access to these technologies, while others do not, which could exacerbate existing social and economic disparities. On the other hand, another topic that has been raising some concerns is the idea of altering pig DNA to use hearts and lungs for human transplant. This could be a solution for the shortage of organs for transplantation, but at the same time, it could also raise some ethical dilemmas, such as the possibility of cross-species transmission of diseases, the impact on animal welfare, and more. So, what is the best way to navigate these ethical issues and ensure that we're using these technologies in a responsible and ethical way? I think it's important to remember that these technologies are not neutral. They are created and controlled by humans, and they reflect our values and biases. So it's essential that we have open and honest conversations about the implications of these technologies and make sure that we're using them in a responsible and ethical way. It's also important to involve a diverse group of stakeholders in these conversations, including scientists, medical professionals, ethicists, and members of the public. We need to consider not only the potential benefits of these technologies, but also the potential risks and downsides. And we must also be mindful of the long-term implications and ensure that we're not creating unintended consequences that could harm future generations. Similarly, with the pig DNA topic, it could be a solution for the shortage of organs for transplantation, but it could also raise ethical concerns about the rights and welfare of animals and the possibility of creating a new form of discrimination. So, while these technologies have the potential to bring a lot of benefits, we also need to think carefully about the long-term implications and ensure that we're taking a holistic and inclusive approach to their development and implementation. It's definitely something that we as a society need to be mindful of as we continue to explore the possibilities of biotechnology. And it's important to remember that these are complex issues that require ongoing dialogue and engagement from all sectors of society. Thank you for joining us today. Please, down in the comments section, go and share your thoughts on this topic. It's clear that the field of biotechnology is rapidly advancing, and it's essential that we consider the ethical implications of these technologies. And also to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Remember, stay curious and keep an open mind. We'll be back next week with another episode of Alternative Insights.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.